Most people wait for motivation, believing that one day they will suddenly feel ready to change. But the brain does not change with motivation. It changes with repetition. In the quiet of an early morning, soft light filled a small kitchen as coffee slowly dripped into a mug, steam rising gently while a notebook was opened and a pen was placed carefully on a blank page. There was a man who wanted to change his life completely. Not a small improvement, but a full reset. And every year he made gym plans, bought books he promised himself he would read, and wrote big goals in bold letters, telling himself that this time would be different. For a few days, he felt strong and focused, but then work became busy, energy faded, motivation disappeared, and the routine quietly fell apart again. Weeks passed into months as calendar pages flipped on the wall, each page reminding him of plans that never lasted, and he began to believe that he lacked discipline and that successful people were simply built differently. What he did not know was something neuroscience explains clearly. The brain does not respond to big promises or dramatic decisions. It responds to small actions repeated over time, because the brain is not shaped by intensity, it is shaped by consistency. Every time a small habit is repeated, a tiny neural connection is strengthened, at first weak and almost invisible, but when repeated daily, even for just 2 minutes, that pathway grows stronger simply because it becomes familiar. The man eventually stopped chasing big changes and stopped setting massive goals, and instead he chose one small action that felt almost too easy to matter. Every morning after making coffee, he opened his notebook and wrote just one sentence, sometimes meaningful, sometimes messy, sometimes barely making sense. But he wrote it anyway, without pressure and without perfection. Days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months. And while the calendar continued to flip, writing one sentence no longer felt difficult. It felt automatic. And without realizing it, his thinking slowly began to change. He became more aware of his thoughts, more present in his decisions, and clearer in his mind. And that single habit quietly created space inside him. 6 months later, the change was real but not dramatic, not loud, and not something that demanded attention. Yet he began showing up to other areas of life with more consistency, making better choices, and trusting himself again. Not because he forced discipline, but because his brain had been trained. Reading one page every day felt easier than reading 50 pages once a month. Walking for 10 minutes daily felt more natural than one intense workout. And he finally understood a powerful truth. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. Success did not arrive with applause, and no one saw the quiet mornings or the notebook filling page by page. But that is how real change happens, silently and patiently, when no one is watching. Because big lives are not built by big moments. They are built by small habits repeated every single day. And in the end, small habits create big lives.